Welcome to today's episode. We're diving into an interesting concept from the grand nature philosophy, specifically how superiors should manage their relationships with subordinates, and the vital rule of 3.7.
Exactly. This rule has been around for a long time. The key idea is that, as a superior, being too kind or too strict with your subordinate can lead to issues. There's a balance to maintain, right?
Absolutely. The concept of 3.7 means a superior should care for their subordinate, but only 30% of the time. The remaining 70% is divided between being strict and being cool-headed. It's all about growth, both for the subordinate and the superior.
That's fascinating. But why does the rule say 30? What's the reasoning behind it?
Well, the idea is that if a superior goes overboard in kindness, it could actually harm the subordinate's growth. The subordinate needs to learn independence, and if they become too reliant on the superior, they won't develop properly.
That's an interesting point. So, the more a superior helps, the less the subordinate can grow on their own. Does that mean it's essential for the subordinate to struggle a bit?
Exactly. If a subordinate faces challenges on their own, they develop problem-solving skills and can learn to navigate difficulties. If the superior always steps in too much, the subordinate's growth is stunted.
So it's about striking a balance. If you're too lenient, you're not helping them in the long run. But if you're too harsh, you risk creating a toxic environment.
Exactly. It's all about creating a path for them to learn. And the superior's role isn't just to be a helper, but also to be a guide. You have to lead by example. If you go too far with kindness, the subordinate won't learn the necessary life lessons, and that could eventually backfire on you.
This makes sense. But how does this relate to the 40 effort that each person has to make?
Good question. The 40% is the individual's responsibility. It's about personal effort. You can't just depend on others or expect everything to be handed to you. Whether it's in the workplace or in life, 40% of the effort has to come from you alone.
So if you rely too much on others or your superiors, you won't develop the internal strength to handle life's challenges.
Exactly. It's like building muscle. If you rely too much on assistance, you'll never strengthen your own capabilities. The 40% is your own effort to solve problems, and that's what will set you up for success in the long run.
It sounds like the law of 3.7 doesn't just apply to superiors and subordinates, but also to how we handle relationships in general, right?
That's right. The principle applies everywhere, in families, friendships, and workplaces. Overdoing it in any relationship by being too kind or giving too much help can actually lead to resentment or a breakdown in communication.
And this isn't just theoretical. It's something we've seen in our own lives, right? People who rely too much on external help end up feeling stuck or unable to handle situations on their own.
Absolutely. It's a cycle. At first, things may seem okay, but over time, it becomes clear that without that 40% personal effort, things start to break down. You can't outsource everything in life.
And when people don't make that effort, they end up feeling frustrated or dependent on things like religion or external systems just to fill the gaps.
Exactly. It's all about balance. Self-sufficiency is key. If you don't make your own 40% effort, things won't go well in the long run.
It sounds like the future is all about evolving away from these old patterns and solving the contradictions we face, right?
Yes, the world has been operating with these contradictions, but now it's time to evolve and correct them. The goal is to live in balance, where we can help each other without overstepping boundaries.
So, in a way, it's not just about helping others, but about understanding how to help them in a way that allows them to grow and not remain dependent.
Precisely. It's all about making sure that the help we provide doesn't prevent someone from developing their own path. And that goes for leadership, relationships, and even how we treat ourselves.
This really makes you think about the way we interact with others, doesn't it? How many times do we cross that line without even realizing it?
It's something we should all be aware of. Helping should be in moderation for the sake of the person we're helping. We have to ask ourselves, are we helping them grow, or are we just making things easier for them?
It's all about creating an environment where growth is possible. If we're always smoothing the path for others, we might just be doing more harm than good.
Exactly. It's a tough balance, but that's what the law of 3.7 teaches us. As leaders, parents, or friends, we must follow it to ensure we don't hinder the growth of those we care about.
And this idea of creating balance, not just in leadership, but in all areas of life, is really the key to making sure we evolve in the right way.
It is. By keeping that 40% personal effort and adhering to the 3.7 balance, we set ourselves up for a future of growth and clarity.
It's the evolution of life itself, understanding our roles, helping others, but doing it in a way that ensures we don't disrupt the natural order.
Exactly. And this is just the beginning. We'll continue to dive deeper into this idea in the next episode.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for sharing these insights today.
Always a pleasure. Stay tuned, everyone, for more on how we can create a balanced, evolving world in the next episode.